Hello everyone. Welcome back to yet another pet battle video. However, this one's a little bit different. We are still in the time of December, so that makes it the perfect time for people who, may not want to pay the whole $10 price to pick up some pets off of the in-game shop. So I have a whole bunch of in-game shop pets here, and I've got my top 10 picked as to top 10 ones that I feel like you should definitely get if you're heavily considering on, not only getting them for aesthetic pleases or whatever, but also for potential pet battles. As I have played with each and every one of these pets at least at some point in my life. So some are very great, others suck a lot. So, with that being said, here's going to be my top 10 that I highly recommend picking up. At the time of this recording, they are still $5, except for two pets. And I'll get into more on those two a little bit later. But a majority of these things are going to be 50% off, meaning they are going to be for only $5. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into it, starting with Whomper. He is a humanoid. He's got an HS breed here, so overall, pretty great breed, not half bad. His moveset, though, honestly, the best bet is just going to be running Punch for diversity. Deep Freeze and Flash Freeze is his Wombo combo, so why you wouldn't run them, I have no idea. Flash Freeze to do a lot of damage, reduce their speed, and make them chill. That way you can use Deep Freeze and do a lot of damage to them. Have a 100% chance to stun them for a turn. So, just really great stuff there. Very cute looking pet, I guess, with the little big eyes on the Yeti. And overall, he's just a super fun pet and highly recommend picking him up if you haven't already. Next up, we have Shadow, one of our Call Darkness users on the in-game shop. Honestly, that is the biggest reason why it would be, pretty advantageous to pick this one up is a Call Darkness hitting as hard as it does. He is the magic type, so, well, low health magic type at that, so he really can take advantage of his little magic racial with that little HP. While Darkness hitting it for as hard as it does, just a very OP ability. And then Light, you can pair it up with that, as most pets, besides elementals, will be considered blinded under Call Darkness, so as long as you hit, then you're going to be dealing double damage there. However, 90% hit chance is not a lot, apparently, in World of Warcraft. So, yeah, it sucks missing with 90% back to back. And then, of course, Shadow Shock for all those humanoids. I don't know why the hell you'd ever run Solar Beam, even if you were on the Sunlight team. It's just a terrible move for it. I have no idea why it has that. So, yep, Shadow, if you haven't gotten him already, this would be a good time to pick him up. Next up, we do have Lil XT. It's more of a fun pet, as I feel like he gets kind of dumped on by way stronger things. There are a whole bunch of elementals in the PvP meta, especially things like Nightshade Sproutling, that would make this pet's life a living hell. However, if you don't run against those and you run against a whole bunch of beasts, especially if it's a family brawler beast team, you're going to have one hell of a time with Heartbroken leading into a Typanic Tantrum. Even if they don't hit you while you have Heartbroken up, that Panic Tantrum is still going to do a hell of a lot of damage to both the frontline pet as well as the backline. And if any of them are beast types, they are going to get absolutely wrecked. Also, run Zap, don't run Thrash for obvious reasons. Low speed. And yeah, you're all set there. He's a mechanical type, so really great racial. And yeah, just overall really great, awesome, fun pet. Next up here, we've got Ichabod here. I'm hoping I pronounced that right. Still to this day, not too sure how to. He is a very odd-looking pet. He is mechanical, very high health, a decent attack. I kind of wish he had less speed because he's not fast at all. He does have Chop here, which makes him pretty great for a bleed team. That's what I would normally put him on. Screeching Gears over Rake. Rake is just not good, especially on a slow pet like him. And his main bread and butter is Reaping Hook, which hits ridiculously hard. It is a swap out ability, so that gives him an edge over most pets. And yeah, that's really the main thing going with him. That hard hitting pop out, especially if this hits a beast. Also, if it's under Call Lightning, because it's just going to do even more damage. So yeah, just not a half bad pet. Highly recommend running him on a bleed team, or a team utilizing Call Lightning to do even more damage with that already hard hitting swap out build. So yep, highly recommend picking them up if you have not already. Next up, we have one of my personal favorites. I absolutely love the Alteric Brewpup, not only for its moveset, but also its design. It's just an awesome looking dog. So I mean, who the hell doesn't love this thing, right? And so yeah, that is definitely worth $5 right there. That is just beautiful, beautiful dog. Definitely run bite over bark. The good stuff is decent. However, it only heals your backline pets. It will not heal the Alteric Brewpup. If this is on the Sunlight team, which I mean, you'd be abusing the power of Sunlight, it's going to do even more healing. Although most people will go for Tough and Cuddly, it's usually overall a better ability. All the pack, I think, is only unique to him. It is kind of like a Stampede in the sense that it just does all damage up front in one turn and applies the little shatter defenses for turn. Then you can go in for like a heavy hitting bite, or if your Rachel's active, that's going to do even more damage. Not half bad. However, Avalanche is definitely way better because for seemingly no reason, Blizzard decided to up the damage on this ability a little bit years back. I think back in like Shadowlands or something like that. Somewhere around that time, I'm not 100% sure. Regardless, hits ridiculously hard. Damn good AoE ability, especially if you pair him up on a Call Blizzard team, which I don't know why I haven't played with him more during the Critter Week, because that sounds like a lot of fun. I do love me some Call Blizzard teams, so yeah, if I'm going to recommend any pet to pick up during this time with the 50% off, definitely Alteric Brewpup. It is so fun to play with. I love this thing. It's just an absolute fantastic pet. All right, next up we have the Musty Fur Fellsnooter. Now, this is one of the two pets that I mentioned where it is not actually going to be $5. This is actually the most expensive pet that you can buy right now. I think it's the newest pet on the shop, to be honest with you. It is in a bundle, so for $30 you can get this pet, a mount, and a tier set, which is not half bad. I went ahead and pulled the trigger on it because, Critter Week, all that stuff, and I really wanted to try this thing out. And you'd be very surprised. This thing really can pull its weight. Overall, great breed. I wish it had way more attack than speed, all because of Face Bite. Face Bite is really its bread and butter. I don't recommend taking Fel Immolate at all. Dark Flame's not bad, however, Sniff Out is very, very good. Especially if it's versus like something like a decoy, or if you use this pet on a trap team like Magma Trap, Snap Trap, also the one trap from those magic types. I can't remember the name of the move off the top of my head, but does the exact same thing. Sniff Out will automatically trigger the trap and let it go off. So you basically get to decide when the hell you set it off. And it's just an overall hard-hitting ability in general. So Sniff Out, very good. A case could be made for survival. I haven't tried him with survival. I just prefer Burrow so much more. Especially with his beast ratio doing more damage. Face Bite to outspeed people. So if you go for a Face Bite and then go for a Burrow, you're, more than likely going to go first. Then your speed drops off once you're already burrowed on the ground. So then more than likely your enemy's going to be faster than you. So that just causes them to lose yet another turn to hit you. You'd be just very surprised at how much this thing can pull its weight. I've had it destroy some upper tier pets like Fiendish Imps and stuff like that over these last few days. It is actually surprisingly good. So if you want to drop the $30, you can. It's, again, one of those exceptions of not being, just the pet itself that you can buy. I'm sure at some point Blizzard will do that, as they do that with most pets. So, yep, definitely, if you're interested, go ahead and get them. If not, you could just simply wait until it's just the pet on the shop. All right, next up we have the other exception pet that I was talking about, being Sabex Blessed here. One of the newer pets on the shop. Instead of being 50% off, for some reason it's only 30%, so $7. Still not half bad. I do really like the design of this pet, and its breed I'm pretty sure is identical to that of Starly, one of the little crocodiles. I could be wrong on that. I'm pretty sure his breed is exactly the same as one of the crocodiles. Moveset, he actually has a very similar moveset to the crocodiles in the sense that he has Rip, Surge, and Blood in the Water. He does also have Primacry, and I do really like this ability. Very, very useful. However, I just don't think you're going to find much mileage out of it. It could pair very well with Flash, but he's just not very fast. So, with that being said, it's just better to go with your little Bleed combo here with Surge. Overall, just super, super fun pet. Awesome design. It's like a crocodile slash dragon type thing with the wings there. And yeah, still for $7, not half bad. So highly recommend going and picking this up. Next up, we have Little Ragnaros. This is another one that's more of a fun pet. He can be very like dominating in a sense if you're going against a bunch of mechanicals, because he just hits ridiculously hard. He does have one of the highest attack powers of any pet in the game. He actually might be, the strongest one still in game. I'm not 100% sure. They keep adding new pets, so really not sure what the highest attack power is at this point, but still just very hard hitting, very slow baseline health. I mean, really can run anything and perform very well. Magma Wave, you could set off the magma trap whenever you want to. Sons of the Flame is just great to get some extra damage and allow for the trap to go off. There's also the Flamethrower and Conflagrate build, where you can have them burning with Flamethrower and then get the extra damage with Conflagrate if you want to go down that route. So definitely a lot of options with that. Unfortunately, gets overshadowed by a bunch of the much stronger pets in the meta. But still, not that bad. So highly recommend picking them up if you haven't already. And also, I'm pretty sure you can use them as like a campfire, like cooking in game, if you fancy that sort of stuff, that particular profession. So just a little bit of extra knowledge in case you didn't know that already. So yeah, the Ragnaros, highly recommend. Don't have them already. I'm really contemplating on whether I was going to put Blossoming Ancient on the list, as he's just a very strong pet. Unless, of course, you go against a lot of like aquatic damage or just heavy hitting attackers. But I just went ahead and decided to put him on here. Blossoming Ancient, definitely one of the best pets to shop. Unfortunately, because of sunlight and his little photosynthesis here, I do like to have some fun with him sometimes and run his, alternate build with Poison Branch, Autumn Breeze, and Stun Seed, just to kind of try it out. He's still super strong with it. Autumn Breeze, healing your entire team for a bit, and reducing all of your enemy's pets' accuracy by 25% for 2 rounds. So not half bad there. However, 99% of people are just going to run his OP build, being Iron Bark, Photosynthesis, Sunlight, for obvious reasons. They buffed the damage of Sunlight years ago, so what a lot of Sunlight people will do is just throw up Sunlight on one pet, switch out, and just keep spamming that, because it just does a lot of AoE damage over time. So yep, as much as I hate to say it, it is definitely one of the better pets on the shop. If you, for some ungodly reason, don't have it already, here's your chance to get them for $5. A super good pet for so cheap. Go ahead and pick them up if already. Alright, last but not least, what I consider to be the best pet on the shop. Some people might consider the Blossoming Ancient, but I've always considered it to be Twilight here. This was released all the way back in Legion. Pretty great breed overall. Kind of wish it had more attack, but it definitely makes up for that with not only the Beast Racial, but just the moveset in general. Twilight Fire, definitely way better than Pounce. It's just a hard-hitting dot, especially when you add the extra damage from the Beast Racial. Even though you are weak to mechanicals, this is going to absolutely obliterate any mechanicals you throw it on. Force Room sucks. Don't recommend it. Surge of Light is way better, especially since he has Call Darkness. Similar to that of Shadow, with Call Darkness up, it says the chance to sun is to 100 if the weather is darkness. Notice how it says the weather is darkness and not that the pet needs to be blinded. So keep that in mind. This can, in fact, stun stuff like elementals. As long as you hit. There's been so many times where I've missed with damn 90% accuracy with Surge of Light, and it is very infuriating. Without Call Darkness up, it just simply has a 25% chance to stun, so pretty typical stuff there. Overall, just a really great hard-hitting pet in general. So there's a pet that I highly recommend you pick up now while you can. With the discount, Twilight is definitely good. Oh, yep, that is going to be my top 10 there. Again, at the time of this recording, the sale is still going on. I'm pretty sure it's going to lead up to early January, so still have a lot of time. And even with that top 10, there are still some pretty great top pets if you want to give those a try as well. Blinky, I guess, for example, Mana Flare actually does spend more damage than you would think. So, yep, that being said, you all so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.